Good morning, YouTube gang. It's MLB DFS coming to you live and direct. Here to give you my fave 5 plays for the early and main slates for today. Today is the 27th of July. Have an amazing week today. Feel free to smash that like. Also, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Press that bell icon so you always stay notified for future videos as well. Let's get into it, y'all. Now, we definitely want to take a look at some savings on the pitcher end. Even though I like Clevenger Kershaw in this play against Washington, he's 11,400 on both DraftKings and FanDuel here. But it's a great play, obviously. Definitely could load up on Dodgers bats today. With Clevenger Kershaw as your top pitcher, but I want to definitely look at some savings as well for today. Another guy, Eduardo Ramirez, in a great play, 30 out of 114 at bats. You know, he's in a good spot, going to 7 righties mostly, but I love him in this play at 8,100, 88 on DraftKings. Definitely a good guy to definitely take a look at. He had 25 last game, but he's been on the roll lately with a high of 58 in the past 5 games. Now, another guy to look at, definitely want to target is Tyler Alexander. He has a 35% advantage play going against the Mariners today, as he has mostly 5 righties in this spot for today, and I like him in this spot. You know, he's averaging around 23 fantasy points recently in the past 2 games, so he's another guy I want to take a look at. As you can see, you know, he had 31, 27, 15 on the Brewers, but going against, you know, just going against Seattle, they're mostly, you know, around 25% strike rate. All right, and I love him in the spot, knowing that he, you know, going against lefties, he's averaging around a 28.5 strike rate against lefties. So Tyler Alexander's in a good spot. 5,900, 58 is too cheap, so definitely plug him in your lines. I love him in this spot for today. Now, going to our catcher position at first base. All right, now going to catcher. I love the catchers today. You know, I just definitely like the catchers. A guy I definitely want to take a look at in catchers, John Hicks. You know, he's been balling recently. He, especially against Seattle recently. You know, he's 2 for 5 going against Gonzalez. Gonzalez's worst pitches against righties, and John Hicks' best hits against lefties. But he's been on a streak lately. In the past 2 games against Seattle, he has 2 home runs as well, averaging around 23 fantasy points, y'all. So definitely want to take a look at John Hicks in this play today. Still too cheap at 2,200, 25 on DraftKings. So, you know, you can definitely get some cheap plays if you want to still plug in Kershaw, but love him at the spot today. Another guy, you know, if you want to target Dodgers, Jock Peterson, even though he's 0 for 4, but he still has a 50% advantage play going against Joe Raj, as, you know, they're horrible against lefties, man. So if Washington even runs lefties in their bullpen, Jock Peterson still has a chance to have upside in this play, as he has his best hits against righties, and Joe Raj is just horrible in general. So Dodgers definitely going to have upside in this play today. Going against them, he had 12 last game, 28 as his high in the past 5. So still, even as an over 4 against Ross, I still feel like he's going to have upside, even if they plug in the bullpen, if he gets annihilated. But love him at the spot today at first baseman. Now, going to second baseman, still want to plug in Max Muncy. This guy is one of the guys you want to definitely target. You know, like I said, Joe Ross in a horrible spot, and Max Muncy, he's one of those guys that is definitely would take advantage against righties. As you can see, 957 OPS against righties. He's 4,100, but 5,000 on DraftKings. This is the reason why I say you want to look at some cheap pitcher options, because you got some great hits today. So I like Max Muncy in this spot today, going against Washington at a 17 advantage spot for today. Now, going to my third baseman, like Justin Turner here. Going against Washington once again. Love him. He's been on a streak lately. 26 last game against Washington, 25, 12, 25 in the past 5 games. Just been on a tear, and also against Washington in the past 3 games against Washington. He's just been on an absolute tear, y'all. So definitely want to take a look at him. 3,700 on FanDuel, but you're looking at 4,300 on DraftKings. Another guy looking at want some cheap savings is Vladimir Guerrero. All right, in a great spot against Tampa with Andrew Clevenger. That's how you pronounce it. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but anyways, 34% advantage play going against him. He's too cheap to ignore at 2,900, 38 as well. He's been now had 32 in his high in the past 5 games. Haven't done much against Tampa in history-wise, but we all know what Vlad could do. Knowing going against righties, that's his best hits, man. So definitely the guy you want to take a look at and target. He's averaging 3 at-bats a game, 3.7 honestly, but he's been on a great tear, and he's still too cheap to ignore here if you want to get some savings away from the Dodgers stack. Now we're getting right with the last play at outfielder. You already know what it is. You got Betts, you got JD Martinez, both of them, man, on a streak. Betts 4,300 on FanDuel, Martinez 4,000 on FanDuel. Looking at 5,400 on DK for Betts, and you got JD Martinez only 48 on DK. So both on the great spot regardless. As you can see, you're looking at 11.5 over and under both on both guys, man. You see 72 last game, 25 against the Yankees, man. Sabathia is gonna have a hard time trying to put them out, man. So both in great spots today. All right, so I love Betts and JD in this play today. Of course, you want to get some savings. I like Austin Meadows going against Toronto. Even though he's 1 for 2 against Baruki, he still had a home run against him, and he crushes lefties and righties. And Baruki's horrible hits against lefties, so he's gonna have a hard time dealing with Austin Meadows here. Love him in the spot, 16 last game. He has great history against Toronto, as you can see, as high as 38 fantasy points. So love him in the spot today at 34, 44 on DK. But those are my plays and some bonus plays on my early slate. Let's jump into the main slate. All right, y'all, we're working with the main slate. We got 10 games. Let's get into this one, y'all. Going with my pitchers like Mike Clevenger going against Kansas City. He's been balling, y'all. Even though he's 10,700 on FanDuel, looking at 11,400 on DraftKings. Great spot for him. 25 of 92 at bats against Royals at 272 against them. He's been doing well at Kansas City, y'all. He had a 55 fantasy point game at Kansas City this year so far. He has great upside here, knowing he had 61, 55 in his past 5 games recently. So love him in this play, averaging around 32 strike rate, y'all. 30% strike rate combined. All right, in this play for today against the Royals. So Mike Clevenger, great play for today. Another guy definitely want to take a look at is Steven Matz. Now he's back in the rotation. As you can see, he hasn't been in rotation lately. So back in rotation, y'all. As you can see, going against Pittsburgh, he does amazing against them, averaging 38 fantasy points on FanDuel. But 64 is too cheap to ignore here. And looking at 69 on DraftKings, knowing what he can do. So I'm glad to see him back in the rotation in this play for today. So Steven Matz is my guy against Pittsburgh in this play today. All right, let's go to our next spot, going to the catcher, first baseman position today. Now, definitely want to take a look at Colorado stacks today. I like Atlanta as well. But nonetheless, going down, let's go to Daniel Murphy, y'all. 7 for 15 going against Descafani. He's in a bad position, y'all. 467 batting average with a home run as well. He's gonna get annihilated by the lefties on the Colorado side, y'all. So Daniel Murphy's an amazing play. He's been balling recently, y'all. 45, 38 in the past 2 games. 45 is the last game against Cincy, y'all. So he's back here once again to do some damage, and he annihilates them, y'all, in his history. So at 31 price tag on FanDuel, 41 on DraftKings. Sign me up with Daniel Murphy for today. Now, going with a catcher, I like Brian McCann, knowing he done well. He's back at Philly again. 34% advantage play against Zach Eflin. Eflin's horrible against lefties, and he's gonna have a great play today. He had 25 last game against Philly, with the home run. He's back here again, y'all. So he has great upside here. This price tag at 2,700 is a steal. 3,700 on DraftKings is too much of a steal, man, to overlook with Brian McCann today. So love him at this price. All right, let's go to our next spot, going to second baseman. Now, going to second baseman, like Ryan McMahon, 39% advantage play, especially going against Anthony Descalfani. Works against lefties, y'all, and he should do well. I love him in this play at 3,200, 43 on DraftKings. He's my type of guy, man, with great upside here with his price tag at 13.35 in the past 2 games versus Cincy, y'all. So back here again, I think he'll definitely help out. There's a 5+ implied runs in this play for Colorado today against Cincy. So, I think he'll definitely help out in this play with the stack. So love him in this price tag at 3,200, 43 on DraftKings. Going to our next spot, going to third baseman. Going to go back down to the well with Jose Ramirez going against the Royals versus Glenn Sparkman. Sparkman's one of those guys, man. He's going to get hurt, yeah. He's one of those guys, man. He's a GPP for obviously, but I love him in the spot. Jose has been amazing recently, even though it's a 2 for 7, 286 batting average, but he does have a home run and a double against Sparkman, so don't overlook that. And also their bullpen is garbage against switch hits. They average around a 4 fantasy point per plate appearance against switch hand batters. Jose's been annihilating recently. His past 2 games versus Kansas City, he had a 32 and a 37 in the past 2 versus Kansas City, 25-10 in the past 5 games against them. So amazing spot, y'all. Don't overlook it. 4,046 on DraftKings, 4,000 on FanDuel. Love them. Sign them up in this play today. Now, last play, going to outfielder. Like I said, my man Nelson Cruz, my cover guy last night, went off again, and he's back in another great spot. 5 for 14 going against Ivan Nova. 2 home runs in the past 14 play appearances, 357 batting average, but he annihilates the Chicago White Sox. As you can see back here, once again, 31-63 in the past 2 games against Chicago White Sox, 22-57 in the past 5 games against Chicago, man. Love him, plugging him right back in here, man, because you can't overlook him. He paying up his price tag, y'all. 44 on FanDuel, but looking at a whopping 5,600 on DraftKings. I'm still gonna sign myself up here, knowing what he can do here. Going to the next play, Max Kepler is an amazing spot. Even though it's 1 for 5 against Ivan, he also has a home run against him, so don't overlook that as well. And he's been crushing them as well. Past 2 games, 26, 31, 37, 38 in the past 5. He has a home run, and I think he has 5 home runs in the past 5 play. I'm sorry, he has 5 home runs, I think, in the past 5 games in history against Chicago White Sox. Even though he had a 6 fantasy point game in that 4th game, but nonetheless, he's been dominating. He had a 2 home run. I think on a 31 fantasy point game, he had 2 home runs in that game, but he had a home run in every game but the 6 fantasy point game, obviously. But too cheap in this play, 3,700, and you're looking at 5,100 on DraftKings. Love him at the spot as well. Now let's go down for some savings. David Dahl's in a great play, 49% advantage play going against Descalfani. 3,000 is too cheap to ignore here, man. 4,300 on DraftKings is too cheap to ignore, knowing what he can do. He also dominates. He had 28 last game against Cincy, and I think he's gonna have another domination game today. He's just back on a hot streak, so I love him in this play. Not gonna overlook him here. He's cheap and he has a great spot going against righties here, so love him in this spot going against Cincy. And those are my fave 5 with some bonus plays, y'all. Want access to the rest of my player pool? All you have to do is click on the link in my description, sign up. It's only $1 for 30 days. You can do a lot for $1, so why not cash? Once you sign up, click on the menu bar. You have access to your MLB cheat sheet that gives you the top plays of the slate down to the mid and value plays under 2K. That's great to know. And you have the home run hitters and good spots as well to add into your lines, y'all. So that's great to know with that stat. Click on the menu bar. You have access to your sleepers, your studs. Click on the watch players. You have access to my plays. Click on watch MLB DFS picks button for my access to the plays for either DraftKings or FanDuel for your custom and quality lines, y'all. So love y'all. Y'all collect that bag for today. Have an amazing early and main slate. It's MLB DFS. Y'all stay blessed, and I'll see y'all in the next video.